Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
I want to set this series up that you're going to hear an episode of today, and it is The Lives of Harry Lime. Now, The Lives of Harry Lime was the prequel to the 1949 British film The Third Man. It starred Joseph Cotton, Trevor Howard, and Wells as Harry Lime. And you will hear in this things that happened prior to The Third Man, primarily because in the movie The Third Man, Harry Lime was killed. And so what you're hearing happened before the motion picture. Now, with that amount of a setup, here's The Lives of Harry Lime, as it was originally broadcast February 8th, 1952, and a kind of a twist here, Earl on Troubled Waters.
Presenting Orson Welles as the Third Man. The Lives of Harry Lime, the fabulous stories of the immortal character originally created in the motion picture The Third Man, with zither music by Anton Karas.
The single most pernicious influence on the growing English boy is the shocking behavior portrayed in the American cinematograph.
To which at one time I would have added a hearty amen, except that I was forced to admit soon afterwards that the luckiest thing that ever happened to yours truly, Harry Lime, was this same influence of the American cinematograph on one growing English boy. Both these statements were proven for me in an adventure which, if you will forgive me, I shall call The Earl on Troubled Waters.
And now Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the Third Man, in today's story, The Earl on Troubled Waters.
Not so very long ago, I was sipping a rather dubious Pernod in a rather dubious London cafe with a rather dubious British character, the sort known locally as a spiv. This particular spiv was using at the time the name of Robinson, I imagine, because he hoped that there was virtue in the number of his compatriots who bore the same moniker. He had no other pretensions to virtue. Why was I there? Well, I was there because he had asked me to be, and because I had nothing better to do. He was the sort of man who managed to sound conspiratorial even when he was asking you something like...
Care for another Pernod?
Well, leaving my own preferences to one side, Robinson, I have my digestive system to consider. For better or worse, it's my only digestive system. I'd rather not make an enemy of it.
All right. No need to make a speech. I suppose you want me to get down to business, eh?
You mean to tell me, old man, that you have some business which you seriously think would be of interest to me?
You're interested in making money, I don't doubt.
Say on, friend of my middle years.
I thought that'd make you prick up your ears. Well, no, it's like this. I have some money, see? Quite a bit of it. I want to get it out of the country.
Pounds or dollars?
It's dollars. A lot of them. I pulled off a good caper, I did. It's enough for a pair of fine nest eggs, Harry, but
you can't get it out of the country because you're scared, and with every good reason. It's customs people. They're looking for you, am I right? Right. So you can't smuggle it out yourself. You have a problem, old man. Who's going to smuggle it out for you?
Why not you?
How much money's involved, old man?
30,000 American dollars.
Even if the deal were a 50-50 split, I'm not sure it's worth it, old man. It's too risky.
And they told me that you were game for anything. Ta! Palm himself off as anybody, they said. Take any risk. Slickest rascal this side of old Ned himself. That's what they told me.
Oh, yes. How they do go on.
Said you could outwit anybody, they did. Why? See that pair of your countrymen over there sitting in that corner?
Oh, fine, substantial citizens, aren't they?
Pair of gulls, if ever I saw one. Innocents, both of them. But I bet even they could see through you.
You bet? What would I have to do?
I'm calling your bluff, Harry Lime. but I don't believe you're ready or able to do any of the things they say you can. My wager is 5,000 American dollars. You can't even convince those two Americans you're an Englishman.
Old man, I bet you I could walk on water if it weren't cheaper to pay my penny and cross on the ferry.
Yeah. Can't smuggle. No sportsman won't take my wager. I'm going off to look for a man.
Now, wait a bit now. Let's see what we've got. You'll pay me 10 grand to smuggle your 30 grand out of the country, and you'll bet me 5 grand I can't pull the wool over the eyes of Mr. and Mrs. J. American Chump sitting over there, all right?
Well, now, of course,
Done's done, old man. I'll take your bet and smuggle your money all at once. I'll even make him think I'm nobility just to make the cheese more binding. Where's your money? Got it with you?
Yes, but...
Hand it over under the table. Under the table. That should be a familiar method for you. Come on, quick. My couple's getting ready to go.
Will you turn it back to me?
In France. It's all there? This package?
Yes.
Run along now, man. Doesn't do my reputation any good to be seen in public with you. As of this instant, old man, I'm guarding the reputation of the Earl of Linchester.
Who's that?
Me, old man, me. I pocketed Robinson's package after sneaking a quick look, and sure enough, they were American dollars, quite a few bills, and each of them of a large, coarse denomination. Then, to follow my 2 American tourists to their hotel, estimate when they'd be coming down to the lobby, and bribe a page boy to help me in my little masquerade was, for me, the work of an instant. My 2 innocents showed up conveniently just a short time before the dinner hour. It was child's play to catch the page boy's eye, make sure he was ready for my prearranged signal to him, and then bump, as if by accident, into America.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Not at all. It's entirely my fault. Can't think why I was so clumsy. Did I hurt your foot?
No, really, it's quite all right, thank you.
You're American, aren't you?
Come, dear.
That's right, I'm from Texas.
Texas? Well, fancy that.
George, I think we better...
I thought that you were maybe an American, too, sir.
As a matter of fact, I was raised in Australia, Mr.
Perkins. George Perkins.
How do you do?
This is Mrs. Perkins, Mr.
How do you do, Mrs. Linchester is my name. How do you do, Mrs. Perkins?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Linchester. George, hadn't we better...
Well, I'm constantly being mistaken, you know, for an American, Mr. Perkins. Let me hasten to say I consider it a compliment, I suppose, because of my necktie. Is that right? The fact is, I am by accident of birth a loyal subject of Her Majesty the Queen.
Well,
boy, were you calling Linchester?
Yes, sir.
I'm Linchester.
Message from Lady Linchester, sir. She phoned to say she shan't be able to meet you for dinner after all, and for you to go ahead and meet her later.
Oh, thank you very much. Here you are, my boy.
Thank you, Lord Linchester.
Lord!
Well, I guess you're not an American, for sure.
And just imagine me calling you Mr. Linchester. Oh, really, I'm so embarrassed.
Please. Actually, I sometimes feel like an imposter myself. I've only been Earl of Linchester a very short time, you know.
Oh?
Yes, I came into the title quite recently. Now, look here, Mrs. Perkins, there's really no cause for embarrassment. If it makes you feel any better, I'll apologize for being an Earl from the first place. And now then, in the second place, I've just been stood up by my wife, so if you're not in a hurry to be off somewhere, perhaps you'll let me stand you to a drink.
Oh, it's really not
I wouldn't
necessary.
think of imposing on you.
Just until I hear Mrs. Perkins say she's no longer embarrassed. Huh? How about it? You'll come to the Claridge's with me? Of course you will. Come along, then. We can have a drink to all those hands across the sea. I stirred them into the lounge at Claridge's, got them seated, dropped a few illustrious names they might have heard of and apparently had, stuffed 2 or 3 drinks down their not at all reluctant gullets, and I had them all sweetly primed for the next stage.
Oh, my, this has been so nice of you, Lord Linchester.
It surely has indeed.
Imagine, George, our having met a real honest-to-goodness Earl. I know this must sound foolish to you, Lord Linchester, but it's truly a thrill.
Well, I just wish my having the title was as unmixed a blessing as you might think, Mrs. Perkins.
Well, I think it would be just heavenly.
Mrs. Perkins, if you want the truth, being an English nobleman these days is a mug's game. The government here in England, well, sometimes it seems that they're trying to penalize a man for investing his money soundly. Why, right now I'm in touch with a scheme to make some money. Big money, too. But I can't.
Well, what's the scheme, Lord Linchester? I mean, if I do say so myself, I got a pretty good business hat on my shoulders.
Mr. Perkins, I'm sorry. I'd like to tell you about it. Frank, I'd like to have your advice on it. But there are others involved in it. I've agreed to keep it quiet. Matter of fact, I'm afraid I shan't have a chance to profit by it myself.
Well, why not?
Well, you see, it involves a foreign investment. As you know, it's pretty difficult to get one's money out of the country.
You can't smuggle it out?
Well, Not a chance, I'm afraid. You see, British customs people pay special attention to people with reputations like I mean to men in my position.
If I could be of any help...
It's awfully good of you, sir, but I wouldn't dream of it.
Why not? First place, we're permitted to take 15,000 American dollars out. We came in with that much. And in second place, no reason for anyone to examine our luggage.
Yes,
George, I don't think...
Quiet, dear.
But really, I don't think
Now,
I could...
please, I'd be honored, sir. And, of course, if you see fit to let me know anything of the investment once we get to France...
Yes, well, it might work.
George, are you sure we...
Quiet, dear. Why won't it work? How much is involved?
30,000 American dollars.
Okay, that's fine. You get it to me. We were planning to take the Channel boat from Dover to Calais next Wednesday anyway.
Well, if you insist, old man, I'll book passage on the same Channel boat. On the Wednesday, we went down to the train together. I slipped my chump the package of $31,000 bills. He hid them away without any sign of nervousness. And in the customs shed, I waited my turn under the letter L. Perkins came over once to chat. He had to elbow a 12-year-old kid out of the way.
Well, I'll see you aboard the boat then, Lord Lancaster.
Righto.
Don't you worry about anything.
All right, thanks again, old man. Oh, look, little boy. Is there any better place to stand than under everybody's feet?
Come, Ronald, take us to
Yes.
Uncle now. In a minute.
Now, go on, Ronald, or whatever your name is. Didn't you hear your governess calling? I was just going to speak to this loathsome child again when all of a sudden I saw Robinson coming up to where I was standing.
Out of control?
Now, listen, old man. Listen to me. You shouldn't be here. Run along and practice forging signatures or something, will
Just
you?
remember I'll be on the same boat.
All right, old man. I'll endeavor to bear up under the news. Fool.
What's he, pal? A torpedo?
A what?
Don't need to climb up with me, pal. Is he a torpedo?
Wherever did you pick up this repellent language? Now, if you...
Cheated. Here, hey, I'm scared, and me.
I had just made up my mind to cuff this provoking child where it would do him the most good when out of the corner of my eye I saw that he was right. The customs man was coming. I looked around to make sure that Perkins' pair would be beyond earshot. They were.
All right, now, luggage ready?
All right here, officer. Just this overnight bag.
Let's see, papers?
Oh, yes, here we are.
Yes.
I can't imagine why you singled me out for this attention, officer.
Harry Lime.
Yes.
Passport in order. You're declaring...
Just the 5 pounds allowed of British subject, officer, though I believe I could take more.
All right, I can read, thanks.
Where's the stuff hid, pal?
Scram.
What's that?
Nothing, officer. Just stifling, sneeze.
Oh, Gesundheit. Well, everything seems to be in order.
My dear old customs officer, don't sound so disappointed. Into each life, some rain must fall.
All right, now then, who's next on my list?
Pal, are you lucky? You must have been living right.
Never confuse luck with shrewd management, my odious little man. Any other questions?
Yes. When are you going to make up your mind whether your name is Lime or Linchester?
Just as my hand shot out to grab his collar, he ducked away into the crowd. I could see him with the governess and the man I heard her calling his uncle, just getting ready to board the boat. How much had he heard? Who would he tell? If only that kid would keep quiet till we were safe in the channel.
In a moment, Orson Welles returns as Harry Lime, the third man.
February 8th, 1952, The Lives of Harry Lime, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues with more of The Lives of Harry Lime, starring Orson Welles, February 8th, 1952.
And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime continues today's story.
I took one last look down at the pier side as our boat moved off. I could see the governess. She was frantically looking about for that brat. He'd disappeared again. Then I forgot him and went looking for the Perkinses. Perkins?
Yeah?
It's me, Linchester.
Oh, good. Come on in, sir. Come on in.
Thanks, old man. Well, Mrs. Perkins, feel better now, do you, after getting through the customs all right?
I feel terrible.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I touched the sea, Nothing like a glass of champagne to fix that up.
Oh, I'm afraid nothing does her any good, Lord Lancaster.
Oh.
Quiet, dear. Well, sir?
You, have the envelope safe, don't you? I hope.
Right in my pocket. Here, don't worry.
Oh, fine.
I was, just wondering, of course, course, glad to do the favor for you. I'm sure you understand, but now that I've brought the money through for you, I was just wondering.
Oh, about my foreign investment possibilities.
Yes. If there were some possibility of...
Perkins, old man, I can't think of anything that would give me greater satisfaction, keener personal pleasure. I'm sure you know that.
Well, I like to think that maybe
I've already indicated the difficulty. My money's at the disposal of a mysterious financier, a man called Robinson. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know the man's first name myself. I'm sworn to the most close-mouthed secrecy about the entire venture. All I can do is promise you that I'll try to persuade Robinson to let me introduce you to him.
I had hoped, maybe if I'd happened onto a good thing, I'd be able to finance my entire European trip.
Yes.
Well, here you are, then.
Thank you.
You better count it just to make sure that...
Oh, my dear fellow, of course I trust you implicitly. However, just to set your mind at rest. Well, 1, 3, 5, 5 is 10, 5, 18, 20, 5 is 30. All here. All present and accounted for, and once again, my thanks.
We'll be stopping at the George Sank in Paris, Lord.
Fine. George Sank. Absolutely, old man. I'll call you just as soon as I've had a chance to talk to Robinson.
Now, you won't forget, sir.
I swear I won't, old man. Just as sure as my name is Linchester. Goodbye now. From his cabin to mine was only a short step. I'd locked my cabin door when I left it to find Perkins and reclaim the $30,000, but just when I was beginning to think I had nothing further to worry about, I reached my cabin door and realized that it was no longer locked. That's funny. Oh, that explains it.
Come in, Lime. Shut the door behind you.
Well, I generally do, old man. I generally do. It doesn't require an order. Well, made yourself comfy, I hope? Didn't realize that you included lock-picking among your many accomplishments, old man, but on the other hand, it would have been a safe guess.
Less gabble, sit.
Come, old man. This is a time for rejoicing. Why the grim, determined expression? Get up, dance, kick your heels together. Your old friend has pulled it off again, and you are the richer by $15,000.
30?
Yes, 30. Surely your arithmetic leaves something to be desired. Suppose I run over our little agreement again. For getting your money through customs, you were supposed to pay me 1/3. Now, 1/3 of 30 is 10. In addition
Still the gabbing hand.
In addition to which you wagered that I would be unable to pass myself off as an Englishman to Mr. George Perkins of Texas. $5,000 even money. 5 and 10 make 15, and so you owe me $15,000. In consequence, I owe you the other 15, half the boodle. Very simple.
Have you finished?
For the moment.
A good line. Now I'll talk. This gun is bulky because of the silencer, see? The cabins on either side are empty. I happen to know, for I saw the passengers in them drinking in the saloon. If you like, I'll let the gun do all the talking for me. I want all the 30,000, understand? And I want it handed over now.
You seem very determined.
I am. When you reach into your inside jacket pocket, Lime, make very sure that the only thing you bring out is the envelope with the money, or I shoot. I mean it.
Dear. Who would have thought that a man of your sterling character would stoop to such a double cross? Well, it must be. It must be. I was actually reaching for the envelope when all of a sudden I heard a little sound just behind me. A sound at the door. The doorknob had just been turned. Well, I wanted whoever was coming in to come in behind Robinson's back.
Hey, where you going?
Just walking over to sit on my berth, old man. Surely you don't object to my being comfortable while you rob me of my share.
Well, just keep both your hands where I can see them.
Why should I not? Why, indeed. I reached into my pocket very slowly and carefully for the envelope, but my eyes never left the doorknob. Robinson, whose back was to the door, couldn't see it. It was opening slowly. Very slowly.
Come on, get a move on. Hand me that envelope, Lime.
Now the door was open, just as I handed him the envelope. Behind Robinson, there came a snarled command.
All right, punk, get him up. Reach for the roof.
What the... My hand closed on a heavy ashtray as Robinson wheeled toward the door in surprise.
Why, just a kid. Come in here, you.
Thank you, Ronald.
He really had a gun?
Well, it wasn't a pea shooter.
Is he out?
Out? Well, a heavy object like this ashtray is brought forcibly to bear on a brittle object like that skull, Ronald. The result, it is fair to predict, will be a minor concussion and consequent unconsciousness.
Is he dead?
Well, Robinsons don't die so easily, Ronald, my boy. Come in. Sit down. Well, we'll keep this door closed, I think, for the next few minutes.
What you going to do?
Well, we're going to truss up this specimen until he looks like a cocoon, that's what. Not forgetting to gag him securely in the bargain. There we are.
I didn't know you really had a gun.
Oh.
Might he have killed you?
Well, I like to think he wouldn't.
He was a torpedo, wasn't he?
What's a torpedo?
Oh, you know, a gunman, a gangster.
What have you been doing, young man? Going to American gangster movies? Where do you pick up this tedious slang?
I go to all the American flicks. They're keen.
Disgraceful. There. That should keep our friend quiet for a time.
From February 8th, 1952, Orson Welles as Harry Lime and the Earl on Troubled Waters. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station. Fibber McGee and Molly also in our next half hour, but first, these messages from your favorite radio station. Classic Radio Theater family, you know our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. He created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, because, you know, I'm working like 67 hours a day. Now, Mike's offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets ever. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. You'll never want to sleep on anything else once you slept on a set of Giza Dream sheets. A special offer for you right now. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. Call 1-800-928-4715. Use the promo code Wyatt. Or go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Wyatt. It's good on anything on the website. That number again, 1-800-928-4715. Use my promo code Wyatt. And there we go. Thanks for listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of The Lives of Harry Lime, starring Orson Welles, February 8th, 1952.
Why was he going to kill you, Mr. Lime?
How do you know who I am?
I heard the customs man when he read your name off your passport.
Oh, yes, to be sure.
I heard that other man call you Lord Linchester, too, but I knew you weren't Linchester.
And how is that?
You're American, aren't you? I say, tell me, why was he trying to kill you?
Well, Robinson is a very bad man, Ronald. He was trying to smuggle money out of the country, and as you know, that's against the law.
I know that. Were you trying to stop him?
Well, that's one way of putting it, I suppose.
I say, that's splendid.
Besides, he was trying to welch on a bet he'd lost to me.
A bet?
He'd owed me $5,000 for a bet. I'll just take that. The rest I'll put safely away.
Say, how about me?
You?
Sure. Split up the swag. Didn't I save you from being...
But this isn't swag, Ronald. This is...
Just a minute, pal.
Tell you what I'll do. Here. You take this one bill,
$1,000? Is it real?
Well, it is unless I've been grossly deceived. Here, now, fold it up tight. Stick it into your watch pocket. That's it. You know what that is?
What?
That's hush money. Now, you run along back to your cabin, and mind you don't tell anybody about this. Anybody at all.
I have no cabin. I'm a stowaway.
Oh, my God.
I came aboard following suspicious characters.
Who?
You. And now we're partners, aren't we?
Fine. So we're partners. Okay. You know what your first job will be, partner?
What?
You sit right here and keep a watch on Robinson. Make sure he can't get out of these sheets I've tied around him, okay?
But where will you...
I'll be in and out. First of all, I gotta tell the captain what's happened, and I'll be back. But you stay here, right, Ronald? Promise not to stir out of this room? Very important. Somebody should be here all the time. Right? Promise?
I promise I won't move. And if he tries to escape, I'll shoot him dead.
The big thing was to get away from that awful kid. He's getting to be like a patch of poison ivy for me. I'd only have to steer clear of him for another few minutes, though the boat was nearly ready to dock by that time in Calais. Up on deck, I ran into Perkins again.
Now, you won't forget, Lord Manchester.
Please, old man, I gave you my word as a Linchester. You're feeling better, I hope, Mrs. Perkins? I had the $29,000, $5,000 I'd won on the bet. It was tucked into a waistcoat pocket. $24,000 left. That was in my billfold, but the coast was clear. The more money I brought into France, the better the French should like it. I was about ready to be Harry Lime again, and the feeling, believe me, was good. The steamer docked, and there was a delay. Gangplank was rigged. Delay again. And at last, here I come. Down the gangway, my pulse beat normal and my heart high.
There he is. That's the man. That's the one. Seize him.
Seen you somewhere before, haven't I? What's the meaning of this?
Seize him.
Who is this hysterical female?
He's the man who was talking to poor Ronald. Kidnapper.
Now, Miss Anstruther.
Kidnapper.
Everything will be all right in a moment.
Kidnapper? What a grotesquerie. Take your hands off me,
Where
woman.
is he? What have you done with him, monster? Where's my Ronald?
We have the same child in mind, madam. He's very probably sitting peacefully in cabin 23.
Here I am.
Ronald. Are you all right?
Sure, I'm fine. Who are these men?
Never mind, dear. Don't trouble about them. They're just two very nice men from Scotland Yard who flew me over to save you from this bad man who was trying to kidnap you.
Dear madam, if you will kindly...
He's not a kidnapper. He's a hero.
Yes.
He caught a man who was trying to smuggle money out of the country, and he tied him up, and I'm his partner, and we're both detectives. And you must let him go because there's probably a reward for the man he caught.
Wait a mo, what's this? What cabin, sir?
Yes, certainly, the boy's right. The guilty party is, as I was just trying to tell you, in cabin 23 on the second deck. Thank you, Ronald.
And you've still got the money, haven't you?
Yes, that's so I do. Just looking for the proper person to return it to, of course. If I could just see your credentials, old man.
Right here.
Just so, and the money. Yes, it is. Here you are. I was keeping it carefully stowed away in my waistcoat pocket, you see. 5,000 American dollars.
I want to thank you very much, sir. Very civic-minded thing to do. Now, about the fellow who was trying
Come on, then. I'll show you where he is.
Ronald, you come straight back here with me. Do you hear? Oh. It's all the fault of those dreadful American cinematographs. The single most pernicious influence on the growing English boy is the shocking behavior portrayed...
I'd like to have your name, sir, so the commissioner can send you a proper letter of gratitude.
Oh, not at all. Please, never mind, really, old chap. If I weren't rather in a hurry,
All right, sir, just as you please. But thanks again.
All right.
We'll attend to the fellow in cabin 23.
One moment, please.
Yes, sir?
That's a rather extraordinary boy. Do you happen to know his name?
Him, sir? Oh, rather. That's the little Earl of Linchester, sir. Come along, Stevens.
Right with you. The little Earl of Linchester. I haven't seen his lordship since then, but believe me, wherever I go, I keep a sharp eye out for little Ronald. Not that we aren't friends now, but I'm the careful type. My mother, who was careful too, warned me against speaking to strangers. I wish I could manage to keep her advice. And my father, who was Irish, warned me about the English, in particular the toffs and the nabobs and the high mucky mucks that eat. They're the ones you got to watch. Well, I don't know about that. Some of my best suckers are in Burke's Peerage. But Daddy never said a word about the tiny tots. Well, I guess what Daddy didn't know didn't hurt him. Well, time to go. And always remember, friends, the wages of sin aren't as high as they ought to be, considering the overhead. Goodbye now.
February 8th, 1952, The Lives of Harry Lime on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. One more note on The Lives of Harry Lime, actually two. Welles was credited with writing 6 episodes of The Lives of Harry Lime, although interestingly enough, Welles himself kind of put the kibosh on that when one writer showed up and tried to claim payment for one of the scripts that Welles wrote to Harry Alan Towers, who was the producer of the show. Asked Welles about it, and Welles said don't pay him. They weren't very good scripts. So those scripts were ghostwritten. But Welles is the only actor credited in this show. None of the other actors are credited. Of course, you have Harry Alan Towers. You have the zither music player credited, but nobody else gets any credit on this show. But there you go. The Lives of Harry Lime is what we just finished listening to. And now we're going to listen to something going on in Wistful Vista, 79 Wistful Vista to be precise, as we head into the McGee household of Fibber McGee and Molly from February 8th, 1956.
Love and marriage, they go together. What's that, dearie? Mail?
No, it's a menu from a restaurant. Somebody stuck it under the front door and rang the bell.
Oh?
It says, Lum Fong's Chinese Restaurant. Food to take out. Chuck it in the wastebasket, will you?
Oh, Lum Fong's. That's the new restaurant that opened up downtown a few weeks ago, isn't it?
Search me. You picked the wrong guy to ask that question. You know how I hate Chinese food.
Say, I've got a wonderful idea.
Ever since that experience I had in France during the First World War.
Sure.
The big war, with that lobster chow mein.
Let's have Chinese food for dinner tonight. Here.
Kiddo, maybe you didn't hear me. You know, France, during the war, the lobster chow mein story?
I heard you. You must have told me that 100 times, every time we get within 3 miles of a Chinese restaurant. And I still think it's silly.
Yeah? Well, if you were the one that had to eat it for 6 months just because the captain put a comma in the wrong place and ordered 100,000 cans instead of 10,000 cans, did you ever have lobster chow mein for breakfast with hotcakes?
No, but...
Or stuffed in a turkey for Thanksgiving?
I know.
Ours was the only outfit that when we got up in the morning, each guy bowed to each other before we made our beds.
Oh, stop it.
When it was time for our outfit to go over the top, the lieutenant never yelled charge like the other guys. He yelled gung-ho!
McGee.
Oh, I'm sorry, Molly, but me and Chinese food just don't go together.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Look, McGee, I've asked you a dozen times to let me fix us a Chinese dinner here at home just once. But no, just because you had a sad experience in the Army...
Sad experience? Have you ever had to set a table for 50 with chopsticks?
Oh, forget it. Let's drop the subject.
Good.
It'd be such a treat for me not to have to cook dinner tonight. All we'd have to do is pick out something on this menu and order it on the phone. Well, let's forget it.
Good.
Wouldn't have to be lobster chow mein. They've got lots of other dishes we could...
Molly.
Yes, dearie?
If you're so set on Chinese food for dinner tonight, you call up and get yourself some Chinese food. But not for me. No, sir. I'll just cook myself a hamburger and eat it out in the garage.
Oh, forget it. Come in.
Good morning, my dear, and good day to you, Droop Snoot.
Hi, Slickhead. Pull up a sofa and park the pork.
Doctor, do you like Chinese food?
Chinese food? Well, I never did, Molly, till a week or so ago. A new restaurant opened up downtown, and Cuddles, Miss Cuddleson and I went there for dinner. Lum Fong's, it's called.
That's the place. Somebody slipped one of their menus under our door a while ago, and I thought it'd be a wonderful idea to have some Chinese food tonight. McGee won't hear of it, though.
I had a bad experience one time in the Army, Doc, in the First World War.
I know, you told me. But this place is just sensational, McGee. It's the greatest meal I ever had in my life.
There, you see?
It was just delicious.
Well...
What's the name of that dish again?
Wasn't any kind of chow mein, was it?
No.
It wasn't made with hunks of lobster.
No. Oh, I remember now. This was called Sub Gum Blooey.
Yeah.
Now, McGee, you know how those names are. That doesn't mean it.
No, it was made with pieces of lamb.
Now, you like lamb. You know that.
And chicken.
He loves chicken, Doctor.
And kind of mixed vegetables with pieces of celery and herbs with the most wonderful flavor.
And noodles, I suppose. I hate noodles.
No noodles.
Okay, it's a deal. Order it, Molly, order it.
Quick, Doctor, hand me the phone.
Here.
Oh, good. Let me see now. We'll start with egg drop soup and maybe an egg roll and then... Hello, Lum Fong's Chinese?
Hold it. I changed my mind.
Oh, dear,
I
McGee.
can't help it, Molly. I can't help it. I'm sorry, but I keep seeing those poor guys in France trying to smile with a mouthful of lobster chow mein every time the captain came in.
Oh.
You ordered. You go ahead and order. Get it for yourself. I'll cook a hamburger and eat it out in the garage, like I said.
Oh, let's forget it. Well, thanks for trying, Doctor, but honestly, he's the stubbornest thing I ever tried.
I'm glad you dropped in, Wimp. Somebody to talk to. Molly's kind of annoyed with me today.
Oh?
Yeah. They stuck this menu under our door this morning from that new Chinese restaurant that opened up, Lum Fong's. Food to take out, it says. You ever hear of it?
Oh, my, yes. We ate there last night. Sweetie Face, my big old wife, and I.
Yeah. Well, say, she didn't by any chance order, what was that stuff Doc Gamble said? Oh, yeah, Sub Gum Blooey. She order any Sub Gum Blooey?
No, Sweetie Face ordered liver and onions. I was the one who ordered Sub Gum Blooey.
Oh, you did? Well, how was it?
Oh, I had a terrible time with it, Mr. McGee.
I thought so. Hey, Molly, come here a minute, will you?
It would have been all right if Sweetie Face hadn't insisted on tasting it. That's what gave me all the trouble.
What you mean?
Well, she was so crazy about it, she wouldn't give it back.
Huh?
She made me eat the liver and onions.
Oh, I thought you meant...
I pleaded with her for the Sub Gum Blooey, but all she let me have was a teensy bit of sub, a weensy bit of gum, and a little dash of bluey. Oh, it was delicious,
The stingy old thing ate every
McGee,
bit.
did you call me?
Yeah, kiddo. Look, I've changed my mind again. Let's order that Chinese food tonight, both of us. That Sub Gum Blooey, okay?
Oh, wonderful.
Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
I've been told to agree that Sub Gum Blooey is terrific. So what the heck? Let's give it a try.
Oh, you'll love it, Mr. McGee.
I know you will, McGee. I'll order it for, 6 o'clock, okay?
Fine.
I promised Mabel Toops I'd come over and help her sew this afternoon, but I'll be home before 6 and with no cooking to do. Hello, Lumpong's Restaurant. This is Mrs. McGee at 79 Wistful Vista. I'd like you to send over 2 orders.
And 6. I hope Molly gets home from Toops's before that Chinese stuff gets here, because I'm getting hungry enough to eat it all by myself. So.
Oh, McGee, I'm home.
Oh, good. You and Mabel Toops have a nice afternoon?
Fine. We got a lot done. Well, bless your heart. Setting the table for Mama like a good boy.
Yeah. As soon as I put the salt and pepper shakers on and Lumpong's delivery boy gets here with the stuff, we'll...
Oh, that must be the food now. I'll get the door. Oh, hello. We kind of thought it would be you. Yes. It has been rather chilly, hasn't it? Here. Here's something for your trouble. Oh, heavens, don't mention it. Bye. Well, here we are, dearie. Steaming hot.
In a casserole dish, too.
I guess they come by and pick it up afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that now. It's hot. Let's sit down.
Good. I'm as hungry as a cross-eyed cat sitting in front of a cuckoo clock waiting for the little doors to open. This Sub Gum Blooey is as good as it smells. I'll never say another unkind word about Chinese food. That was just fantastic, Molly. Most delicious dinner I ever ate.
I knew you'd like it. Now, aren't you sorry you've acted so silly all these years about Chinese food?
Yeah, I've been kind of unfair, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that Sub Gum Blooey was the most wonderful tasting stuff I ever flung a fang into. Boy, I've been missing some good eating by being so
Yeah, well, that's all water under the bridge now.
Mm-hmm.
Open your rice cake there. I'll pour some more tea.
Rice cake? Oh, with the philosophical sayings in it, huh? Like, he who puts on kimono backwards in morning don't know if he's coming or going all day?
Here's yours.
Thanks. Let's see. Boy, this is a long one.
Read it.
You are blessed with a beautiful wife who is a wonderful cook.
Go on.
She was the one who cooked this Sub Gum Blooey dinner this afternoon at my house. I made the rice cakes. Signed, Mabel, too.
Yeah.
Hey, what, you mean?
I've had that recipe for months now, but the way your back goes up every time I mention Chinese food...
Well, if that isn't...
Now, listen, don't get mad. If anyone should get mad, I should. Imagine having to ask Teeny to slip that silly menu under the door and ask Dr. Gamble and Mr. Wimple to drop by to convince you.
Why?
And think of poor Mort Toops running through the streets with that hot casserole dish and that silly Chinese accent.
Mort?
Yeah, just to get my stubborn husband
Well, I'll be Sub Gum Blooeyed.
So glad you're cured of your silly prejudices about food, McGee. There are lots of good things to eat besides roast beef and mashed potatoes.
Well, from now on, Tootsie, anytime you got a recipe you want to try out on me, you cook it and we'll try it. Anything.
Good. You know, I've had a recipe for curried lamb that I've been
Anything
wanting.
but that curried stuff. I had a bad experience as a kid on my Uncle Sycamore's ranch with some curried buffalo that a camp cook fixed. You see, he curried his own buffalo.
Skip
and
it. Skip it.
Okay. So long, everybody.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bill Thompson played Mr. Wimple and the Chinese Mort Toops, and Arthur Q. Bryan was Dr. Gamble. Well, tomorrow, Mr. McGee invades the world of the arts, only to discover that the road to fame as an aesthetic craftsman is rocky. This is John Wald inviting you to hear about it tomorrow. Goodbye.
Little distraction play there by Molly and Company. February 8th, 1956, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Merrill. In the American Cancer Society's vast effort to control cancer, there is one aspect that interests me particularly. This is the fellowship program for outstanding young doctors. Here are men who have devoted years to preparing themselves for their profession, college, medical school, interning, and perhaps more time as resident physicians. Many promising careers are open to them at this point, careers which will support their families comfortably. Yet, they accept American Cancer Society fellowships at $50 a week. Now, these dedicated young scientists are working for us. We owe it to ourselves to help them in this tremendous fight against man's cruelest enemy. We can and we must help this fellowship program as well as the other valuable endeavors of the American Cancer Society. Give generously. Mail your contribution today to Cancer, care of your local post office.
By the way, the Lives of Harry Lime, it turns out that my good friend Ted over at RadioMemories.com has all of the programs of the Lives of Harry Lime available for your consumption. He can get them to you on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer. Contact Ted at RadioMemories.com. That's RadioMemories.com. And thank you for tuning in. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're here on your favorite radio station. And don't forget that you can find all of our programs available on demand by going to classicradio.stream. That's my webpage, classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about classic radio collecting, and you can contact me there, either directly on the form on the webpage, or you can also contact me through our social media pages, and both of those are linked there at classicradio.stream. Our shows are available anywhere podcasts are heard, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, a whole bunch of other places. All you have to do is search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have a great day. Please thank this station, support the advertisers. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.